Guys, my name is Ray Robinson here. I am a worker for UCO Student Support Services, and we have a new podcast series going called BreakDown. And for those of you who don't know what Student Support Services is, it's one of the hidden treasures on campus. So for those of you college students, please see if your university has Student Support Services. And Student Support Services, the help ranges from financial aid, scholarships, tutor, just an all-around guide to help students be successful in college. And I think, one of the things in helping it not be so hidden is this episode, this podcast that we have going on here. And one of our first episodes is just going to be a brief financial aid guide. A lot of college students don't know anything about financial aid. Coming from a guy who was once a freshman long time ago, I dang sure didn't know nothing about it. And I just feel like an episode like this would be very useful. So, for a first episode, financial aid, because college, it's a business first almost. You know what I'm saying? So
that is true.
I have Miss Rhone with me here.
So I am Rhone. I'm actually a recent graduate of UCO, and no, I am not a money coach. I'm a financial aid counselor, advisor, if you will. Please put some respect on it. I appreciate it.
We're going to have Deshelle here. She's going to talk with us about financial aid. We're going to provide some tips, and then we're going to end it with a game where I'm going to be in the hot chair, and I got to ask some financial aid questions. And I am a senior, guys, but,
We'll see if he knows anything.
Yeah. So I am a senior, so these questions might not be, I don't know
You
it all.
should
So
know them.
We're going to see. But let's go ahead and start talking about financial aid. What are some of the keys in getting familiar with financial aid? Because a lot of universities, they just give you a little touch of the candy. They don't really go deep into what's going on because a lot of orientations such as UCO, Forge, they introduce you to a money coach, but they don't really tell you too much. But what is one of the first steps after you've had your orientation into financial aid? What are some of the things that you were suggesting getting familiar with financial aid?
I would suggest getting familiar with what aid is what, because there's different levels to each aid. So you have the federal level, you have the state level, and then you have institutional level as well. So federal level, of course, is like the federal Pell Grant, your sub and unsub loan, work study also is federal. State level, you do have certain grants that are there, that there's certain eligibility that you have to meet with as well. Tuition waivers and scholarships, of course, are institutional. And then, of course, outside would be like your tribal scholarships, your high school scholarships. And then if you, of course, attended anywhere in OKC or applied for any of their foundation scholarships, it would be outside. But I think the first step to really just understanding it is just sitting down and looking at your account and then reaching out to someone if you really do have questions. We don't mind questions, especially if this is your first time and you're truly trying to understand. We appreciate people that come and ask us questions more than trying to figure it out on their own.
Awesome. And a lot of people, one thing I've learned about dealing with financial aid is how open you guys are. I've recently learned that when it comes to financial aid or just in college in general, there's no such thing as a stupid question. In some cases.
I was like,
because I know
careful.
you do. Yeah, I know you do deal with stupid questions and stuff like that. But in instances, so to kind of help break down financial aid, is that more of, because I come across a lot of students on campus where they say, "Oh, I'm too rich." Is financial aid just pretty much just assistance for students? Because there are students go over what are the protocols to qualify for financial aid.
So a lot of people get misconstrued because technically loans are considered financial aid. Scholarships are considered financial aid. But as far as our office, what we contribute to it is that we just determine your eligibility based off of your EFC level, which we also do not calculate in our office. It is ran through a system. So, that's nothing that we personally do. I know a lot of people give us a lot of flack about that, but we don't. So once it's ran through the system, it basically breaks down your eligibility, where you may not be eligible for Pell, and then you may not be eligible for subsidized loans. You may only be eligible for unsub loans.
Okay,
but
and
it's
EFC is let's go ahead and say let's address what that is.
It's the expected family contribution. However, this is not what your family is expected to pay necessarily. It's just a threshold, basically, an estimated cost of what they could potentially pay out of pocket to pay for your education.
Oh, okay, awesome. And so is that where you do your dependent verification form, and you have to list all your family members of the house, or is it just from your parents where they conjure up how much your parents is going to give?
There's a lot of factors that go into the EFC though. So like, of course, income, of course, being a dependent versus an independent student already puts you in a different bracket. And then of course, income does have a bearing on it, but that does not mean lie. Please do not lie about your income. We do catch it a lot more often than a lot of people think.
Really?
Yes, you will be very surprised. The only time we really do that is if a student has been pulled for verification though. If you haven't been pulled for verification, then, I mean, I'm not telling you to lie. Don't do that because you never know when you might get caught. But in a lot of cases, most of the time, the reason why we're asking for the verification form, the taxes, things of that nature, is because the government FAFSA flagged their application as though something is different than what it was last year, or because the information is a contradiction in itself. So we're required to reach out and double check all the information to make sure it's correct.
Okay, awesome. Now, speaking of money and stuff, a lot of college students, myself included, we worked in college.
Yep.
What is your advice for college students who are still wanting to work and, you know, like taxes? Does that affect their financial aid, and to what degree does it?
I don't know if I'm legally able to answer this question, but I'm gonna get by on the little snippets I can provide.
All right.
So basically, just be honest, though. Of course, we do understand that, you know, students are now having to work because it's really expensive to go to college. It's no secret whatsoever. And a lot of our offices, like, it's like, even since I graduated, it's just been exponentially more. And I know that there's only so much that the university can do, considering there are some bylaws that they have to go by in order to increase it because of cost of living and all that jazz. But of course, financial aid is not always going to cover all of your aid, so we do encourage students to apply for federal work study jobs if you're eligible for it, or just on-campus jobs in general, even if you don't, just because you're still getting some support from the school, you're still getting funds. It's just not in the way that you want to, and it's a way for you to work around your school schedule a little bit easier than working a regular 9 to 5 or working odd hours and having to work super early in the morning and then going to school. Like, we understand the hassle, but I mean, if you're reaching out to us and using our resources on campus, we're never going to turn you down completely. We're going to always try to find a way for you to make headway about it.
Awesome. You know, sometimes don't feel the need to don't be so in such a rush to work, because I feel like sometimes when you get caught up in the money flow, you forget that you're a whole college student. And so, yeah, that's what I would say, yeah, because they will, my pay literally it started getting lower and lower until I got to the point where they realized, oh, this guy's making too much money. We got to cut his pay.
Well, hold on, because your situation is a little different, though, because you're also a dependent student.
Okay.
So your income, along with your parents' income, which is the primary income, of course, that does, you know, push it up a little bit more.
That counted in my EFC.
It did count in your EFC. But we're not telling you not to work, though. We want students to be able to work because, I mean, it's not going to cover everything. We know that. Students are going to have to work in order to cover everything. So it's not to tell you don't work, and it's not to tell you not to work too much. But my advice as a college student, when you're working, just be mindful of your mental health and making sure that you're taking the time that you need. It's a bill, I understand, but guess what? We have a lot of resources on campus. I'm here. If you see me out and about, you can ask me some questions. We're going to find a way to make it work.
Awesome. And I just also want to take time to point out that there is a lot of hidden money scholarships on campus that I think a lot of people aren't aware about. You know,
that is true.
Sometimes you just get scholarships for applying, because there be some scholarships where students don't even apply, and the organization or the company that's on campus will just give it to the student that applied.
I literally tell students all the time to go talk to their professors. Like, I'll get questions throughout the middle of the semester because they have a balance that's holding them up getting enrolled. And I'm like, talk to your professor, see if they have any scholarships on hand at their college. Like, talk to your specific college professors to see if they have any scholarships that are on hand that weren't used, because sometimes it's just money that's sitting there, and it's not always going to be a yes. The worst they can say is no.
Yeah, I mean, and they give scholarships for some of the craziest things. Like, I got a scholarship my freshman year for just being left-handed.
All right.
I mean, that's what it is. There is
we can't all be that great.
I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what they say about left-handed people. You know, we're in our. Nah.
And what it, and
Left-handed
what-
people are in their right minds. You see? I see what I did there?
That is such a dad joke. We
Deshelle-
can have no fun.
but Deshelle, you were talking about your interactions with a lot of students, like being there to help. But I understand that as a person who is at the helm of the financial aid umbrella with giving a lot of advice and stuff, there could be some things that could kind of irk you. What are some pet peeves for you at this job?
I would probably say the biggest pet peeve is when students reach out and they have not checked their account first. Most of the time we get a lot of why haven't my loans dispersed? I don't understand why my aid hasn't dispersed. Most of the time it's been because they've been pulled for verification, haven't turned anything in, or it's because they haven't completed like their entrance counseling or NPN counseling. Like those are the simple.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
All right. So finish the show. What was you saying in regards to your? Yo, come on, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm being professional. Okay, so I would say not checking the account. A lot of students do that. They reach out, and most of the time, the answers are there on their account. So look at your UConnect first before reaching out. And then if you have any questions, of course, reach out to us. Ask questions, but at least look first. And then I think the other biggest pet peeve that I'll talk about today is that we understand that a lot of students have parents that are involved. Which is fine, but we prefer for the student to reach out to us mostly because the parent may not have proxy set up. And also, this is about you. This is for you. So we prefer for the student to reach out so that you can understand what's going on behind the scenes instead of getting it through a third party. Also, there may be certain information that we need directly from you that your parent cannot give. And sometimes when parents get involved, it kind of just escalates the situation worse, and we're not able to help them as quickly as we want to because it's just so many barriers and roadblocks against us.
So y'all get a lot of parents, huh?
We do. And half the time, most of them do not have proxy. So it's the common phrase, at least I
What
send
is
out-
proxy?
Proxy is the permission to give someone else your information. So
Okay.
if your mom or dad tried to call me and they're not listed under proxy, I can't give them your social. I can't give them your birthday. I can't even give them what classes you're enrolled in. There's nothing I can do for them.
Okay.
And I will tell them that.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Now, we had talked about FAFSA. I think with it being October, a lot of students are filling out their FAFSA. What are some key points in filling out your FAFSA? Is that I don't know if they're doing it this year, but maybe you do know. Are they still giving you people extra money for filling out their FAFSAs early?
So I believe you're talking about OTAG, which is the Oklahoma Tuition Aid Grant.
All
That
right.
is a first come, first serve grant. We don't have any control over who gets it first. Typically, yes, if you do submit it faster than others, it does put you higher in the eligibility, but there are still other requirements that you have to meet in order to receive that as well. So my tips for filling out the FAFSA, even if you feel like you're not going to get anything, complete the FAFSA, because a lot of our scholarships on campus do require you to have a FAFSA on file for it to be dispersed to your account, even for the following year, even if it's a recurring scholarship. So I feel like that's something really important students don't know. If you're under 24, include your parents and step parents if they are married. We've had a big issue with that this year of step parents not being included on the FAFSA, which is a big problem. Being honest, like I said in the beginning, we'll catch the lie. And even if you slip through the crack once, it doesn't mean you're going to slip through the crack again. And include your school code on the FAFSA, and the parent sign your FAFSA, please. We have had a lot of rejected signatures this year. Please sign your FAFSA at the end of it. Please make sure your parent signs the FAFSA at the end of it. Just, y'all.
It's your money. Sign for it.
Yes. It's not signing your life away. I
It's
promise.
your money. Use it when you need it.
We're just trying to help you pay for college. That's all we're trying to do. We can only do so much. But that's pretty much.
All right, but anyway, guys, it is now time where I am in the hot seat, and I have to play fact or cap. And Deshelle here is going to read to me some statements in regards to financial aid, and I just have to say if it's a fact or is it cap. Let's go.
Okay. You must be enrolled in at least 9 hours to receive federal loans. So sub and unsub.
Fact.
Cap.
Really?
6 hours.
6 hours. Oh.
Half time, y'all. Not 3/4
I
time.
stand corrected.
Yup. Okay. Your financial aid eligibility changes from year to year.
Fact.
Okay. right?
living proof.
Okay. Okay. Completing the FAFSA means you are applying for federal and state funds.
Fact.
Look at you. Proud of you. Proud of you. Okay. The FAFSA opens every year on October 1st.
Cap. It opened earlier this year, right?
That's a lie.
What?
That's a lie.
I could have sworn it opened.
It has not even opened this year yet, actually. So for everybody who doesn't know, the FAFSA actually opens December of this year. We don't have a definite date yet, but
So it's technically a cap then.
It's still a cap, but you got the date wrong. You out here giving false information. So between December 1st and December 31st, the 24-25 FAFSA should be opening. Every other year, it will go back to October, but this year they're making updates and changes. That has pushed it all the way back. But keep an eye on your email because we should be sending out emails when it does open.
Awesome. Time, guys. Thanks for listening on our first episode of UCO SSS Presents Breakdown, a survival guide to college. We'll have another episode, but until next time, I'm Ray.
I'm Deshelle.